All right. Hello, everybody. Hey, Sean.
Hello.
I got Sean Briscoe, and you're in Wisconsin.
I'm in Green Bay. I'm on the battleground of the battleground of the battleground. It's like battlegrounds all the way down where
Yeah,
I'm at.
yeah. So we got some political news um, talking about Wisconsin's really interesting because on if you just like kind of like don't pay attention, it's like yeah, okay, whatever. But if you pay attention a little bit and look into it, it's like holy crap, this is big. This is big. So, what are you seeing out there, and how big is it from your point of view?
So real quick, I'll just introduce myself.
Yes, please, please.
For those, I have a channel, CLSB Politics. Um, I've been doing political work since 1998, and so I started actually doing field work, but then I've done policy, and now I'm pretty much all data because data is kind of where everything went. Um, but that's my background. So I've worked in over 200 campaigns at every level you can imagine. And what I'm seeing in Green Bay, so we've been knocking on doors here in Green Bay for about 7 weeks, and we've seen one other Democratic organization outside the normal party that's been out here knocking on doors. They're the family. Oh shoot, the something family party. I'm sure we'll be corrected in the comments. But they're very friendly. We call them the blue shirts because they wear blue shirts. Uh, but no, and so they're great actually. The ones that I have a problem with are the little dudes who 5'2", just they look suspicious. They're not. They have no markings at all. They're carrying
Wait a
Republican
minute,
door
that could
hangers.
be me.
No, they've got like no party affiliation, no
Yeah,
T-shirt saying
yeah.
who they're with or what they're doing, and some of them had paper lists, which was really interesting because I haven't seen that since 2008.
They
Or
have
really, I guess
paper lists.
lists. Yeah, they were going down the street with paper lists, which was
Okay,
interesting.
okay.
And that actually, from just to give you a little idea, what that tells me is either they're not working with a stable enough CRM where they have an applied app to allow them to do field programming from the data set they're operating from,
Right.
or
CRM is
oh,
contact
it's the
management.
brains of your camp. It tells you where to go knock doors,
Okay,
what
okay.
phone numbers to call, who's
Yeah,
registered to vote, who's not, that kind of stuff.
right.
And it's a system that basically keeps all that organized. And every time you knock on a door and get any piece of information, it tags with that. It tags with that. So you
Okay.
get a running days. So like about a week ago, one of my canvassers was out and was knocking on doors, and this lady opened up and she's like, "Oh, so the group I'm working with, I'm going to give a shout out. It's called Power to the Polls. It's out of Milwaukee, but I'm in Green Bay because they do pretty much all of Wisconsin minus Madison, because Madison's the
Okay.
capital. You know anything about capitals? It doesn't even matter which state. Every capital I've been in is like a fishbowl for politics. I lived in Austin for 12 years. It's a fishbowl.
That's a fishbowl.
Yeah, the capitals always are. So they're kind of insular and self-replicating. I don't know exactly how to say it. But so we do everything but that. And so so that's Power to the Polls, and that's the group I work with. And it comes from Pew to the Polls, which was a organization of churches in Milwaukee that would on Sunday during early voting go and vote. And it kind of grew from that. But they've been
Hmm.
working this area for the last 3 or 4 cycles, and I've only been here for the last, well, I was here, I've worked with them last cycle and then this cycle. Uh,
Okay.
so literally, I was here 2 months ago,
Yeah. Wow.
and literally
So,
in Green
and,
Bay 2 months ago,
and
actually.
you're just working specifically the Supreme Court race?
Yeah, after the November election, literally, um, the day after, I kind of, like a lot of people, just kind of pulled in, and I didn't do as many shows as I normally did. But it's because with that cycle out of the way, and it's a presidential cycle, it takes just a lot of bandwidth. You're as a person who does this for a living, you need to know where you're going next. And the next 5 weeks after that election, right through really, I did Thanksgiving with my kids, but once the kids were gone, I worked really right through Christmas.
Hmm.
There's a lot of really interesting programming that a lot of different groups are looking at right now.
Right.
Not the least of which is, the Supreme Court race here in Wisconsin, of which they're going to have one every year in the spring for the next 6 years. So this is
Really?
really just yeah, this is really just the beginning of a pretty long roll for them.
And why is that?
It's just the way they have a 10-year service, and it's just how the math
And
came
that's
out.
how they're okay. So they're at the end of the service after 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I have an entire video on my channel for those of you that are at all interested in what exactly the Supreme Court does in Wisconsin, their state Supreme Court. I have a whole thing. It's like 6 minutes, and you'll know more than probably anyone should about the Supreme Court. Wisconsin.
So in this election, though, what's going on with it? It's if it and it should be non-political, but it is.
Oh, it's super. Yeah.
Yeah, but they say it's non-political affiliated.
It's really what it boils down to is so we have those in Texas too, because I'm from Texas. I've run a lot of campaigns in Texas. It's not that a lot of times it's not that they're saying that there's no political affiliation to the election. It's just held without a politically affiliated primary.
Right.
So
Okay.
what it is it's a top two winners take all primary. And then from that, you've got your two candidates for the general.
Yeah.
But there's no party affiliation. Now, you gotta understand, Republicans have been playing nonpartisan races as partisan races since the 90s.
Yeah.
The Democrats kind of figured that out in the 2000 teens a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up a little bit, especially when the Tea Party and all those guys back in 2010 started going after the nonpartisan races, like a lot of the judicials, and then also Board of Education and all that nonsense that we've been blessed to listen to for the last decade.
Yeah. So
Um,
what are the Democrats doing right now, from your point of view, to get back on track? Are they coming up with their own Tea Party type approach, or what are they doing?
well, I'm not a part of I am a Democrat, but um, I am blessed to not be part of any organized political group. So to say I don't, I would say it's a state by state level. I know that there are organizations looking at running multi-year, multi-cycle programming in what would be classified as the South, minus Florida and Texas. They're talking about running year-round programming. When I say programming, sorry guys, I almost have no voice left because I've been working crazy hours. When I say programming, I mean field programming, door knocking, also media, organizational outreach and development, things of that nature, stuff that sticks around. Groups coming in and doing 45,000 doors for a state house seat that the budget would never afford that. Uh,
Hmm.
Groups going in and doing some really interesting guerrilla work that way, which would definitely prop up some state house seats. And in red
Yeah.
states, that's huge. Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understand most of these seats aren't even contested anymore. I think it was just in Congress alone, and honestly, at the state level, it's even worse. There's only about 13% of congressional seats that are even optional. Like they could go one way or the other. It's only like 13.
Yeah. Wow.
Not many.
Yeah.
It's the gerrymandering that, and honestly, the states that have those seats have nonpartisan district committees that draw the lines in nonpartisan ways and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's why those seats even exist. All the red states got rid of those committees a long time ago. They draw those lines so that the politicians can pick the voter. The voters do not pick the politicians.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wisconsin, that's going to be key for this Supreme Court race.
That's what it's all about because they're going to redraw the lines for the congressional seats, and basically, there's two seats that the Democrats could get because of the gerrymandering the Republicans did here in Wisconsin. So, and as we all know, the gap in Congress is two seats.
Yeah.
So there's the Republican margin right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Now,
that's why they're spending millions and millions of dollars. They're saying they could spend as much as $100 million by tomorrow.
wow.
And I think the record before that was in 2022, and I think that was 27 million. I might be wrong, but it was around that. So they've
Yeah.
got a factor of four increase on an already ridiculous number.
And that's on both sides.
No, that's everything combined. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does that even count Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway that did you get
Uh,
any of that? Did you try?
so the Supreme Court here in Wisconsin won't even look at it.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can do it. He's like he's not buying. They're saying he's not buying a vote. It's almost a raffle on a petition to protect the vote.
Yeah. But it's a conservative court right now.
No, it's actually not.
No?
It's a 3. It's a 4-3. Yeah, and they want to keep it that way. That's why this seat's so
Four
important.
three conservative
Four
or
three liberal. 4-3
4 3
liberal.
liberal?
But they got to keep it.
Yeah.
So the person whose term is up is a liberal. So they have to win this seat.
I see. Okay. Okay. Wow. 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 So much money going into these elections. And
None of it's all the money you're hearing about, none of it gets spent on field, which I personally believe, and the math shows, is the best and the highest ROI of any form of outreach. The Brookings Institute did a research paper and they looked at 2,000 campaigns and to figure out, how valuable is mail, how valuable is phones, how valuable is texting, how valuable is social media, how valuable is door knocking.
yeah.
Because there's an ROI, right? Your return on investment. So for every vote I get, how much am I spending in a given category?
Yeah.
So when you look at that Brookings Institute data, they come out with uh, that the best best money spent in the life of a campaign is in the field,
Hmm.
and then the next one, which is about half as good, is a professionally run phone calling program uh, manned by volunteers. So you don't have the added cost of paying paid,
Yeah.
but
How
paid.
much training goes into
Oh,
your door knocking program?
we actually have quite a bit of a regimen. My team and I have worked together now for quite a few years, and actually, if you add us all together, it's over 100 years of experience. But
Wow.
all old, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So we actually have quite a library, and it really depends on the state we're in because different states have different laws. And but we do a day of training. We'll do make sure all their paperwork and everything's in because we do paid field programs. So we want to make sure all the HR stuff's done. That's key because no one gets paid until all that stuff's done.
Yeah.
And we pay them when we're training them. That's paid time. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure all their little ducks are in a row. And then we do a lot of role playing with the script. So
Yep.
typical, one knock knock, who's there kind of stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and we do that as a round robin. It's if we're training a group of people,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun and it's hilarious. Um, one of my canvassers, Tariq, he is absolutely gut busting funny on the role play. It's almost it turns into because you try to depict different kind of people that you run into on the front porch.
Yeah. Right.
Aggressive, real friendly, little old ladies who want to talk for 30 minutes, which is bad. I mean, we love
Come
them,
on
don't
in,
get me
have
wrong.
some
We love the
tea.
little old ladies, but I'm trying to get my canvassers to hit 15 to 20 doors an hour. And if we spend half an hour talking to a little old lady, I
Yeah.
guarantee we got her vote, but there are other doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we do that, and so it turns into kind of an impromptu kind of fun thing. And I have a theater background, so this stuff's very natural. And
Right.
And I enjoy. I don't get to do as much as I used to because now they have me in front of spreadsheets. I'm more valuable there. But um, I mean, I've knocked on 500,000 doors at least personally.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I actually don't know how many, but I know it's more than that.
It's interesting because I used to door knock myself in when I sold real estate, and it would be a love-hate relationship with it. And I know exactly what you mean when you go knock on a door and somebody goes, "Come on in." It's like that's almost
That's
like,
actually a major rule we have. We do not go into houses.
yeah, because then you can't get out.
You cannot. Well, or they, something bad might happen, and there's
Something
nothing we can
bad
do.
might happen.
Yeah.
But normally it's they just want to talk. But yeah, then there's some really aggressive ones in that role play to get into different situations, and just to feel how those different situations will be, was key in that. But it was really really effective getting in front of people. It really, it may take a while to convert them sometimes, especially if you're selling something. But you guys are
We're not
not
selling
selling,
anything.
just and even though real estate, they say we're not selling, we're just asking you a question. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there's no monetary transaction or potential monetary transaction. In fact, today my team's divided into two groups. One group is putting out yard signs and the other group is knocking on doors. The Green Bay program is, let's just say that I'm the data director for the entire state, but I had a hand in working with Green Bay to make sure that they were on schedule, and the staff here is insanely qualified.
yeah.
I'll be honest, this is probably the most qualified team I've worked with since Obama. Really, the group
Mm,
I'm working with here in Green Bay, and we've got groups like that in Milwaukee and in Racine. There's teams in Sheboygan, and Kenosha, and a bunch of other funny sounding towns that I know very well. I know for a Texan, I know a lot about Green Bay. I did the Green, no, because okay, so everyone needs to come to Green Bay for your birthday. Because on your birthday, it doesn't matter what bar, but on your birthday in Green Bay, you cannot buy a drink.
wow.
They are all bought for you. I mean, every bar. Show ID, if it's your birthday, they give you this big flashy button that you wear, and then all the drinks are free. I swear to God. They should advertise that more. This would be like the dude uh birthday capital of the
Capital of
world.
the
Because
world.
I mean, I did that on my birthday, and then the next day I had two friends visit from out of town. We did the Lambeau Field tour. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. It's like 2.5 hours of Green Bay and football history.
Wow.
They're very, 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 very proud of their championships.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I cannot tell you. You are in Green Bay when
Yeah.
you get here. I have a picture when I first got here. I took a photo of the grocery store that had every 7, 8 feet a 6 to 7 foot long Green Bay flag, one right after the other, straight down the entire front of the grocery store. I was like, I guess I'm in Green Bay.
Yeah, you might be.
That might be. And I love crazy sports towns anyway. I did a governor's race in 2010 down in Massachusetts. We were based out of Worcester, and the Brewers were just destroying in hockey. We're just destroying everyone back then. And I would go to my little pub and eat my fish and chips and be surrounded by crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I like hockey. I've never played, but I mean, it's fun to watch. It's the only sport I
Gloves
kind
off, elbows up.
of. So, but Green Bay's awesome, and I think a lot of people are curious about how they think the Elon Musk stuff's going to play out here. The people here are very proud, and they're very they're just not flashy people.
Yeah.
It's a town of 105,000 people that are hardworking and work in factories and
Yeah.
manufacturing all sorts of stuff. They're fishermen, they're hunters, And I think a lot of the stuff the Republican Party's doing, as far as like that Doge committee going in and messing with parks and wildlife, that's a no-no for these guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big no-no. And when hunting season's delayed or there's problems or I can't get my license renewed, they're gonna be like, I thought Doge was supposed to make everything better. No, they're
Right.
not.
Right.
Um, I
Well, that
mean,
will be just more going out there and hunting anyway without a license.
well, and that's the thing. They frown on that here. It's like it's not the authorities, it's the people. They're very they're just really good folk here and they're real
Yeah.
friendly and they don't like it when they think they're being bought. They don't like it when they think they're being sold. It's really interesting. They're a real I wouldn't say salt of the earth because they're all very, very smart up
Yeah.
here. They might I mean, I'm sorry, to be a farmer now, you gotta have a master's degree. So none of these guys are dumb. And
Right.
they all can count. So my feeling is that this Elon stuff isn't gonna sell very well up here.
Yeah.
They like people from Green Bay in Green Bay.
Yeah.
They tolerate me because I'm friendly and I'm funny. I swear that's it. What I got going for me. Um, but the people here are very cool, but they're also very,
They're smart.
they're smart. And I
Yeah.
think they're gonna see through this stuff. I really do. And what we're seeing on the front porches, I mean, I can't speak to any data or any polls I may or may not have seen that are internal. I can't speak to any of those, but the public stuff I can talk about. And right now they've got her +3, +4, which means that tells me either we're tied or +1.
I
So,
don't know what that means. I don't.
okay. So right now it's like we're 50, they're 46, and there's 4% that's undecided.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea, +4, that's what that means.
And we as Democrats.
Democrats, yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Crawford, even though she's technically in a nonpartisan race, yes, Susan Crawford is I
Yeah.
think I mean the math says 4. I think it's probably closer to 2. I think the independents don't like being told that, I think the independents are going to turn out and they never turn out in these races. And I
Mm,
think that they're going to turn out for Crawford. That's
okay.
what we're seeing on the front door.
So let me just throw this um, just off the charts a little bit.
Hmm.
What do you think? Being a data guy, looking at numbers, what do you think about the future of U.S. politics not having two parties, but coming up with two completely different parties?
So they would just get rid of Democrat and Republican and replace
Yeah,
it with.
kind of. Yeah.
I mean, we do that about every 60 years anyway.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at where the Republican Party was, New York was full of Republicans. And Texas was the Democrats in the 70s,
Right.
you know. Um, yeah.
So
Yeah.
with
Yeah, no,
cyclical, yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's cyclical. We reorientate ourselves about every 60 or 70 years in this country, and
Yeah.
it's historically just. I mean, it's very obvious that that's what we do every 60, 70 years. Just so happens I've been doing this long enough, I get to see one. But
Yeah.
I mean, the odds were what they were. I started in 1998, so you know,
Wow, you're old.
feeling it. Let me tell you, doing this stuff for a couple decades will,
Yeah.
you know,
What's your biggest challenge that you have as a data guy running these campaigns for like Wisconsin and doing what you're doing? What's your biggest challenge?
Van.
Van?
Mhm. Van is a piece of software that we use as our
Oh,
CRM. Democratic and progressive people programs use it. I've even known some city council races to use it. It really kind of peaked in 2012 as far as technology goes. So there's a lot of systems out there now that are way ahead of what we're using. I think that there's just some stuff that's standard now that costs extra with Van that unnecessary. Problem is, the Democratic Party's kind of thrown in with Van. Although I read an article really about a month ago that said that the only reason that Van was able to stay stable in the last presidential cycle is because the DNC dropped like $5 million into it to
Mm.
stabilize its search engine. So I'm curious as to how long they're going to continue to be the sole, not pretty much the sole client of a outdated piece of software. And I look forward to the day when I no longer have to use that software.
And do you have any say in that, in that change?
I think, well, I think states do, state parties do, I think.
Okay.
And there's no reason, and honestly, what I tell a lot of campaigns, using one CRM, it's this is my analogy for this. Okay, so the way you can tell in nature the difference between, a predator and you know, and something has to go catch its food versus something that, eats it off the ground or whatever, vegetarian. The difference is where the eyes are set. So when you're a bird, you have eyes that are all over the place, right? They're over here on the side because
Mm.
you got to keep your eyes everywhere because there's everywhere it's trying to eat you. But a cat, super predator like that, their eyes are facing front because it needs stereoptic viewing so it can see in depth.
Yeah.
So that when they jump and grab something, it knows where in time space that thing is. I think political campaigns should operate that way. They can keep Van one eyeball, but then develop another one.
Yeah.
And where those two interlink, that point is a verified data set that you can operate from because now you're not missing anything. You're
Yeah.
not just all your eggs aren't in one basket. You've got two, and you're able to see that point in the data that allows you to be more operational. Plus, the new systems that are out now are just so much better.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the real purpose of Van originally was an archive, so the data wouldn't get lost. And you can do data dumps into Van, no problem. So like when I'm asked, that's the advice I tell people. I'm like, listen, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. That's the other thing. Van sometimes during the election cycle just decides to stop working.
Oh,
So we actually, because there's Van, and then there's all these different Vans, like Vans Wisconsin, Vans. Uh, there's different federation, different groups are all using Van at the same time. So, like my counterpart here in Green Bay is actually in Milwaukee. His name is Raw. He's super cool. Uh, he and I have technically two different vans. And last cycle, my van shut down for like, 2 days in the middle of an election. It's like losing your brain. Uh,
yeah. Right.
I was, but Raw's was working, so we were able to keep things going. And then, swear to God, 3 days later, mine was working and his wasn't.
Ah.
So we dodged a bullet by having van, but two different coming from two different areas.
Yeah.
One broke down, the other one was up and running, and vice versa. So we were able to navigate that, but that should be necessary. It adds just to the drama and I
Sure.
already have to beat the Republicans. Why do I have to fight these battles back here, It's
Yeah. Right.
terrible.
Right.
So like and I don't get any paid dividends from any of these companies, but like Salesforce does a decent CRM. Nation Builder, which is actually one I prefer to use, does a great job, and they can integrate. And these new
Right.
CRMs can integrate media and texting and email and phones and field, and it's all integrated seamlessly. It's beautiful.
Mm.
And and you're able to clean your data and manage your data and get audited reports from your canvassing. And I can audit on a daily basis about 100 canvassers, but once you get above that, it's brutal. And
Yeah.
having a CRM that has the capability to do custom audits by canvasser would be huge. Allows
Yeah.
us to find the bad apples, get rid of them, promote people that are actually doing the right work.
Right.
A huge tool that we're kind of missing right now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I had a lot of opinions on that. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no.
You
Well,
asked about literally my field.
I asked, and I got it.
You did.
Um,
Sorry about that.
so with this election, I was on your website and I saw that you for tomorrow, the election's tomorrow. And what are you doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow is election day. It's kind of interesting in my world. So as a data director, I'm always looking in the past and the future constantly. So I have to know where my people are going and I know how where they've been and what happened where they were. Right? That's my world that I live in. So I'm hardly ever on like the 31st. I'm on the 30th and the 1st right now.
Yeah.
I'm not on the day I'm actually living. That has no meaning to me yet until it becomes the past and then I have a new future. Um, I worked on today yesterday, put that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So tomorrow, weirdly, there's no more future. It's like I come to the end of time and there's just an abyss of nothing out there where I'm like I throw out my little radar and all I see is a black wall heading towards me because that's what it feels like data wise because it's all going to start shutting down. So tomorrow is an early every morning's early. I get up around 5:30, eat some oatmeal and then begin my day. And tomorrow will be auditing everything that happened today. Don't have to worry about tomorrow, the second, because it doesn't exist. And so my morning will be spent auditing everything that's going on right now as we're talking across the all of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then midday, we launch our canvassers, and we're also going to really, you know what I really should start? I should start earlier. So technically, tomorrow starts tonight. So
Okay.
most of the consultants I work with are from Texas, and we there's this thing called sign wars. It's fun and legal, and you can't really get in trouble for it, but it's a lot of fun. And we dress up in black just to make it cool. But we go in and we put yard signs at all the polling locations at like midnight tonight. So we're coming off of that tomorrow morning when I'm doing all my data stuff, auditing everything, making sure. So at 7 o'clock, the polls pretty much close. So we'll be canvassing and doing yard signs till 7. And then from then we're going to be at a location that's near the central counting office here in Green Bay, not at the office because we've talked to the mayor and the governor, and our organization was asked to kindly stand by and just be, they just don't need a lot of ruckus out in front of the
Yeah.
central counting office, and they know we're there legitimately in the effort to make sure that the vote is counted. We're not there to mess with them or anything, but just more people. There was a 1,000 person rally at anti you know, Musk rally at the Musk thing yesterday. 1,000 people were there. Um, and some of the MAGA people got kind of violent with some of my canvassers actually were there, but not on hours or anything. This was after hours. And, but they were there and they said that the MAGA people got a bit rowdy. Uh, so, and they must, I guess, handed out his $1 million check or whatever. And uh, so so we've had some pretty big groups that have shown up at the different
Yeah.
things
Right.
here, and so we don't want to be part of that. So we're going to be near enough that if some shenanigans does go down, we can come out and bear witness, which is basically what we'll be doing.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
because I saw on your website on a video that you put that you were going to be, just watching the votes come in and tabulating. I go, oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
it's
That
called yeah. I hit it's called me hitting refresh on my computer a bunch of times. Watch,
okay.
yeah. I mean, I watch a little spinning wheel go. It's real exciting work.
Mm,
um, if you can get it. Uh, but but I'll be honestly, 90% of the work I'm doing right now, I'm writing my after action report for the whole program that's pretty much done. So
yeah.
I'm doing all my flow and my projections and all the math that we started. These are what we thought we would be able to do. This is what we did. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So we don't have, well, we have enough time. What do you think of the Florida race? Do you have any insights going down there?
I do. Man, special elections are crazy. We watched that one in Pencil. That's what state senate in Pennsylvania
Yeah.
flip, and that was an R plus 15. The one in Florida is an R plus 13. It's or 14. So it's right there in that same food group. Florida's weird. I mean, I've worked in Florida. I was there in 22 when is that 22? God. Yes, that was 22. That seems like 1,000 years ago. Uh, when DeSantis was running and he raised all that money. Fun fact about Florida that cycle, the Republicans outraised the Democrats 20 to 1. So for every $1 we had, they had $20. Like there was no radio or media to buy.
Yeah.
Everything was bought months out. Like even when the Democrats got that surge of money at the end, which always happens and does nobody any good, that money, well, it helps advertisers. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, wait,
even
hang on
even
one
then, it
second.
didn't matter.
Hang on one second, because I want you. You said something before that you're saying just now, and you just went so fast over it.
Oh, sorry.
But no. You said that the early money or the late money coming into a campaign doesn't do any good,
I mean, it does some good, but
but it's the early money that you build your strength on.
yeah, absolutely. It's a 10 to 1 almost. Like for every $1 you have in early money, it's worth $10 in late money.
Okay, that's huge.
It's huge.
So
It's huge.
when we get going into new election cycles, we need to make sure that we're not waiting to the last minute.
You
That
need to
we
start knocking on doors 100 days out, start building out your field team, start getting your turf organized, start IDing doors. You need to start doing that 100 days out.
wow.
2026 is going to be brutal. Anyone who's not doing, listen to me, anyone who's not knocking on doors 100 days, 3 months and change before November, you will have problems. Mark my words, you will have problems.
And what are those problems that you're
So, for one thing, staff.
okay?
Uh, in this business, this quality of staff you have can be the difference of 20%.
Mm,
Seriously, 20% better. Your dollar will go 20% further if you've got good staff.
yeah, of
If you've
course.
got or if you got the staff that's left over, people with interesting reputations or just don't take the work serious enough or whatever, what just not good at it because that happens too. Or inexperienced. So you get a lot of really young staffers. You're not paying very much money. You get what you pay for, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
Um, I've forgotten more things about campaigns than I know. I don't, like
Yeah.
I'm at the point now because of the experience I have that when I see a problem, I'll be like, oh yeah, we solved that problem in '06. I know how to solve that problem because I already solved it. There's
Yeah.
only about 35 problems you're going to have in a campaign. So, so if you know how to solve all 35 of those, that's great. But if you know how to solve 15, well, you got those other 20. So
Right.
plus a lot of time. There's a lot of stuff that you can do as a consultant to help them avoid spending money in real stupid ways. It's kind of the difference when you have your first kid and you get all these rando things that you never end up using. So by the time you have your second kid, it's pennies on the dollar as far as equipment goes. It's like I need a good diaper bag. It's like that's what I need. Everything else is whatever,
Yeah.
It's like that. You just know more. That's why it's like 85, 90% of first time candidates lose. But when they run a second time, the chances of the winning goes up
Yeah. Sure.
because they know more.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about running for office, go look up what the win number is, and that's the number of votes it takes to win. Like for example, you would look up the win number for 26. You would look that up in 22 because it's non-presidential cycle, and those are and you want presidentials have more can voters,
Yeah.
so it's going to be a higher win number. So you're going to take that win number and you're going to multiply it by 20, and that's how much money you need to start your campaign.
Wow. Okay.
So if your win number is 10,000, you need $200,000.
Mm,
I mean, welcome to campaigning.
yeah. Right.
And these congressional seats can have win numbers as high as 35, 40.
Whew.
Now, now
So let's go
now you're
back to
talking about
Florida.
$1 million easy.
Let's go back to Florida again.
Okay, Florida. So I do know a little bit. It's a district just outside of Orlando. Um, I've actually run the numbers on that race because a few of my friends, Chris, will give you a shout out. Rod, give you a shout out, Rod. They're down there doing the work. And so there is a very small rando chance that maybe I if they win that seat, they're going to be running for 2026 immediately. And and I may or may not have already put together a complete field program for that. Full disclosure, I may or may not have.
If I say it, I may have to. No. Okay.
I know a lot about that district for a guy who's never lived in Florida, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, but so yeah, no, the Florida stuff's really interesting. Special elections are always interesting. It's a wild card. You don't know what's going to happen. Anyone who
Yeah.
tells you they do are lying, or they have some inside scoop on what the programming is going on in the field. Because a field program in a special election can be an enormous advantage because you can target all the voters that are going to vote. You know where all your independents are. You can get those guys out, do all that early ID, and the guy running in that special election has $11 million in a war chest for the 26th cycle, and that's what's got the Republicans freaked out. That
Oh,
doesn't happen in those seats. Not a plus R R plus 14 is nuts. No one ever does that, but they're doing that. That's Florida.
right.
That's what that
Yeah.
is.
So is that Gates's seat or Walt's
Yeah,
seat?
it's Waltz's seat.
Walt's seat. So that's Randy Joshua Wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of people running in that race. And so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Florida is crazy. Last time I was there in 22, I had Hurricane Ian go through my field program and shut it down for a week. Um, Full disclosure, I've been hit by 13 typhoons and an 8.2 earthquake. Me and the planet Earth, we got a problem.
8.2.
Yeah. Guam, 1992. It was exciting.
8.2.
Lasted
Oh my
60
gosh.
seconds. Guam builds everything to military building codes. Didn't lose one. We lost one building, and it was because they didn't build to the military building codes, which is
Yeah.
rebar 4 inches apart, all poured cement, the works. It's
Yeah.
just basically the Guam after this terrible. This is totally off topic. Terrible typhoon in '68, when literally everything was just destroyed.
Right.
The entire island adopted the military building codes. So technically, most of the structures on Guam can survive a 35 pound per square inch shock wave from a nuclear weapon.
Wow.
Fun facts.
Fun fact. I'm moving to Guam.
I lived there for 15 years. I loved it.
Yeah.
I'd move back there in a second. Let me tell
How's
you.
the diving? Is it good?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's got great diving, but you can also go to places that have great divings. But they have like I think it's a B-50. No, it's not a B. It's a B-25 or a B something. Anyway, they have a bomber that took off from Anderson Air Force Base, lost power, and went right into the ocean. But it's sitting at 40 feet, so you can
Yeah.
dive it. So there's a lot of cool dives like that on Guam.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
have the PD bomb holes, and you've got uh Barracuda hole, and yeah, there's all sorts of really
All
cool
cool
places.
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
I went to high school and college out there, so
Oh,
did a lot of hiking
sweet.
and fishing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Awesome. Well, listen,
if anyone from Guam's watching, half a day.
say it again.
That's half a day.
Up a
That's
day.
this is yeah, and it's like aloha.
Okay.
Man,
Aloha.
man, it is.
Well, listen, I don't want to keep you too much. I want you to keep working so that we get this seat. And
There's a whole bunch of me's out here working very, very
good,
hard.
good, good.
Oh, real quick. So on my show the other day, this is a campaign. So I was telling people like because it was raining, it was just real. Oh, I think I described the weather as ass. It was pretty bad up here in Green Bay. So my campsters are out there in like 35-degree weather in the rain. Anyway, so I was like, I'm buying them all Popeye's chicken sandwiches. And I said that on my show randomly. And then I just got a flood of money that's all noted Popeye chicken sandwiches for your team. So my team's hooked up. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that was awesome. I heard you say that. That's so cool.
I took
So
a picture. I was like, I walked into the regional manager's, one of my buddies, Ricky, and I'm like, Ricky, I'm not buying dinner. My YouTube channel is.
yeah, nice.
I mean,
Nice.
I don't,
Well,
it's
I
not.
will make sure that your information goes
Oh,
down
sweet.
below, and I'll put a little intro to it. Maybe I'll add this piece right in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I've got a playlist of all the stuff that I've been doing in Wisconsin. I've got playlists for the reason I started my channel was Project 2025. I have a 15-part video series just on that.
Yeah,
which will freak you out because it's literally happening right now.
Yes, it is.
But I've got over 100 episodes.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for joining. This is awesome. Best of luck to you.
No
Keep
problem, Danny.
working. Don't get any sleep. Work, work, work. No
No, there's no
sleep.
sleep until Wednesday, so.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks, everybody.